Okay, today I think I'm gonna do some ranting. I gotta get some stuff off my chest. I feel like the energy is so intense, man. I swear to God, I feel like that's the energy just makes it where I don't know. It feels like more anxious and stressful or something. Everything feels so intense, man. I've got a cup of tea. This is my second one. It's almost 4. I woke up at 2:40 because I was so fucking irritated that the dogs just puppy pile on top of me. Whole goddamn bed, but let's just pile on top of her. It's like, and then Stella starts whining, and so at 2:40 or 2:30 or something, I woke up and then I was just laying in there steaming, and I was like, I'm just getting up. First, I counted how long have I been in there. So it was like, oh, well, okay, I've gotten like 8 hours of sleep. But I swear to God, I feel like I could sleep like another 4 or 5. I feel like if I just was in that hotel bed again and had that whole bed to myself and all the room was quiet and set for sleep, I swear it would just be so nice just to be able to sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep and not be woke up except for by yourself. That would be dream come true. But I have a few things. Like, one thing I want to bitch about is the dogs for show. And because things aren't perfect. I don't want to be on here like, yeah, you can do it, you can do it. And make it like, things are easy. They're not. They're not easy at all. It's hard as fuck. And it's not for everybody. Some people, you just need to keep paying your shit and stay there cozy till it all falls apart. Like, this is, I'm not saying I'm better than other people, but it is hard. It's definitely hard. It's very trying. A lot of stuff. A lot of things. I think it was really, if I go back, it had to be from the moment I decided to stop paying. Because it was a risk the whole time, but I believe in the universe, so I believed if I was pushed out of there, that's what was meant to be. Even though no big disasters happened yet, I still feel like just look at my sweater. Like, this is one of the sweaters that was in, again, one of my regular sweaters I would wear all the time, and they were all covered with hair. I can't even tell you how much hair was on me. I'd put them in the dryer, I'd wash them and wash them and wash them, put them in the dryer. I couldn't even wear them. They were so fucking hairy. And it was sure it was something with the static electricity. See, I'm telling you, there's something weird going on over there. And, but here it's just as fucking poisonous. I swear to God, I think it's even worse. Like, I can't believe these orange skies. Like, it is insane. And I just think people are, oh, that's so beautiful. Look how beautiful that is. The sunrise is beautiful. The sunset's beautiful. It's like, oh my God. Superficial, shallow motherfucking world has got to break apart. Don't look through it. I had a long talk with my mom the other day about, hold on, let me finish this. It gets cold really quick. Even I was making my second cup. I forgot to reheat the water, and just in a couple minutes, and it was already cold. Like, nothing stays. It's chilly. Hold on. I'm telling you, it's in the teens most of the time. It's in the teens, and then it goes into the 20s for a little, and then around 2 or 3, when the sun's just like bright above us, then it's like about 32. So most of it's 26, I swear. It does. I don't know if it really gets into 30s, because when I go start my car, I go look on the thermostat on the car, it's always way less. So it's cold, definitely cold. And it's so funny because I'm such a wuss about cold, but you gotta do what you gotta do, I do have a lot of clothes on. I have a lot of clothes on. But that also becomes a problem, because then when you have to wash your clothes, my mom, she just washes them for me. It's just like, it's kind of, I don't know, as older person, and my mom's washing my clothes, cooking meals, trying to fatten me up and stuff. She's not like trying to, she's not like, oh my God, you need to gain weight or anything like that. But she just is like, maybe she could be just enjoying having company and somebody to cook for, Because when you're single for a long, long time, you know, a lot of times you just are like, I'm not going to really cook. Just make for myself. And so a lot of people, like, she got into the habit of just going out to eat all the time. She's one of those ones that just goes, and she's real active with her friends in church. Like, she's always was that kind of mom, was her friends and stuff. Not when we were little kids, then it was an issue, you know, to us as kids. It's like, you know, your mom doesn't give a shit about you. But then when you grow up, it's like, it's really good for her. She's got lots of friends. She's got lots of support system. But also, a lot of support systems can be very draining. You have to have good boundaries. I'm constantly trying to give her a little, well, you know, you gotta have boundaries. And sometimes, you know, she'll get trapped on the phone for hours. And so, hold on. But the thing we were talking about, I feel like there's certain things like that she had certain perspectives of that she didn't really think different, but you know, like there was no other information really that she was thinking. And then like I come in like a wave of new information, and there's a lot of resistance always, but there's a lot of times when I'm saying stuff and it's just like I just see her like things just ticking into like just going into place or something, just all of a sudden seeing the connections and stuff. And you know, and it's not like I'm trying to lecture her or teach her or anything, even though most people when they're around me, like family, think that that's what I'm trying to do. They think like I'm a preacher, like they don't think I am. They think I think I am. They think I think I'm some sort of a preacher trying to fix everything or something. Which, you know, it's all perspective. But what I was telling her was, I don't remember what it was we were talking about, but it was the hair thing. I think she was telling me, maybe that was in this conversation, she was telling me about this older woman here that she would see. And she kept thinking the woman was younger because she would see her walking up the hill, because these are big hills to go up. And because it's like, Spokane is mountainy too, but it's different than it is on the west side. And so it's drier over here, but it's very hilly and stuff. And I mean, like nature. Washington State's a lot of nature, which I was just watching it at Mount St. Helen, and they were making like all the people were like a bunch of hicks and stuff. So Washington State, I guess before it became Seattle, was very hickish on mountain people and stuff. So anyways, she said she would see this woman walking all the time, and she was in really good shape, and she had this cold jet black hair. I think it was because I was saying something about the people who color their hair, because I was noticing when I was walking outside and the sun shines through my hair, it's like, God, this is like got so much color and stuff. And people go in and try and get their hair, you know, get them bleached or put blonde streaks and all that stuff in their hair. And I swear to God, it does it by itself. It just naturally does it, you know. And then they tell us, like, well, you can't have hair like that as you get older. And it's just like, man, it's pretty trippy because, yeah, I don't know. But anyways, I don't know if it was because I was thinking of that and I had said something about how crazy it is because so many people think that they are covering up their age by doing their hair like coal black, jet black, or in their eyebrows. Like, some of I kept seeing who was doing that was John Travolta. I was thinking, dude, you look so silly. And but they feel like, you know, that makes them look younger or something. And so they do that. And there's a lot of people as they age that start doing that. And so she was saying that this lady, that she was doing it, and she had this black hair, and she said she couldn't tell at all what the woman, her age or anything, because she was in good shape, because she was doing this walking, because we can stay in good shape. We just have to pursue it. We have to take care of ourselves, and we can stay in the shape. I'm telling you, I feel like, I feel like I'm similar to what I was in high school, but I feel like it was probably, I've lost some muscle, you know, as you age and stuff, you do lose. And there was probably you know, I mean, I was pretty sick for a while. Even when I was talking about it with my mom, and I was saying, you know, it's just so crazy, you know, watching this go down with my brother and stuff. And I said, man, I was on the brink of death. And I said, I think I was dying. And she said, I don't think you were dying. You were dying. And she was like, there's no doubt about it. You were dying. And that doctor wasn't doing shit to help you. And I said, well, you know, once I went natural, all I've done is get healthier and healthier and healthier. And it's just sad because people just don't see that. They don't understand. They don't know. And I said I was during when I even had Hep C, because I don't even know when I had that. And it could have been that, and the doctors weren't even catching it. I just know I was fucking sick as fuck. And and it was going for years. And they just kept piling more pills on me. And that is my first big step, was when I went off all the pills. I just did it myself. I was like, this is bullshit, man. And it was hard. I was on 18 pills. And some of them I had to wean off. You have to look that up if you decide to go crazy like that. You have to look up and see which ones you have to wean off of, and which ones you can just drop. And so I dropped a bunch, just like, fuck that. But your body has withdrawals. So that's when I started, I was in horrible pain. It was hard. It was super hard. None of this stuff is easy. None of it. And that's when my older daughters, they had been weed smokers since they were like teenagers or whatever. And it had become legal. And because I was real like, oh my God, that's not legal. One of those people. And but my daughter worked at one of the stores. And so she's the one who started getting me, like, I think she started bringing me hard candies and saying, you know, take this, it will make you feel better. And so that's where I started using the hard candies, is like, but at first when I did them, it was like, oh my God, this is so trippy. But the side effects were still better than the side effects of the stuff that was killing me. So even though I would feel kind of spacey and kind of trippy, like I was in a dream world sometimes, it was, those side effects were still better. I kept being like, this is way better, this is way better. Then I started getting more into it, but it's the smoking part that I enjoy. I like smoking now, and I like, which somebody in my comments on TikTok said, do you smoke? Which I'm sure they're saying it because of my voice. And so I'll just remind again, I was not a smoker. Only took up smoking in the last few years when I got off the medicine. My voice is like this because of acid reflux and scarring on my voice box. So that's why and it's mostly, I think it's more crackly at night than it is during the day even. But anyways, I don't know, it must be during the day too. Because that guy's like, do you smoke? Yeah, I was like, why? And then he said, never mind. It's like, yeah, how rude. Like, go ask somebody that's something that's none of your business. Like, what the fuck? Like, people I've got, like, god damn. So anyways, back on this conversation with my mom. So she's talking about this woman. And this is where, you know, it was kind of going in between, like what we were talking about. Because I was saying, yeah, these people, they do that. And they just, like, mask. They hide from aging. Like, they think they're covering it up. When really your body's showing you it's depleted. It's falling apart. Something needs to be done. And they just hide from it. And then they get sicker. And she goes, yeah, that woman, she ended up getting really sick and dying. And I was like, that's what happens. I said, they drain it off from their hair, then osteoporosis. Think about grandma. Because my grandma had white hair at a young age. My grandma, the one who's dressed, the nurse one, she looked just like Barbara Stanwyck. And I was just watching her the other day in an old movie. I was like, God, she reminds me of my grandma. But that was the nurse grandma. She was the one that was kind of like, I have one who died young. Like, it's so weird how my brother's playing out this pattern again, and I just feel the pain of what his grandkids are going to go through. I hope that it bounces. I hope things change, but I don't know. The state of the world and what's happening, you have to be aware of, like, you know, we could very well be leaving soon. So, So I had said about, I said, remember grandma with her white hair at a young age, and then she had osteoporosis. And I said that just it takes from your hair, then it takes from your bones, and it just keeps taking because it's got to drain all the minerals, and then you die. And which her pharmacist friend had told her, when you run out of enzymes, you die. And we're not putting them back into us. And I look at it as the minerals, but whatever, all those things work together, vitamins, minerals, and enzymes and stuff. So how he learned how the system works and stuff for medicine, because he was a pharmacist and I was a nurse. So anyways, he said enzymes, like when you run out of these certain enzymes, you're dead. That's it. And so to me, it's like your body is trying to drain all the minerals it can to keep the enzymes going or whatever, and keep you in motion, keep you going. And then you're not working together with it. You're not being a team player with your own avatar. And so you're just like, oh, it's failing me, but let's just hide the fact. Let's just cover up the wrinkles. Let's get Botox. Which this thing, I keep putting the horse paste on it, and it keeps crusting up like crazy. So there was a lot of stuff still in there dormant. I don't know if it's pulling it out or what it's doing. And if I don't keep it really moist, it starts really hurting and stuff. So anyways, there's activity going there. Let's look at my tooth while we're talking about changes. And I just feel like it's just doing just like what it showed in my mind. So that darkness is just going to keep getting lighter and lighter and lighter and turning more orange and gray, and then it's just going to turn white. So so anyways, I was talking about that with my mom, and she was just like, yeah, that's so true, because it is like the people, there's stages you go through. Like you don't usually get osteoporosis before your hair turns, but it's just like all these, because I was like, it's so crazy because all these silver beauties and stuff like that, all these women are trying to show off their beautiful silver hair and make everybody envious of how gorgeous their hair is, and they get so many compliments and they love their hair. They're all cut up in the ass of their hair, and but the superficial side, see, because they are completely drained of their minerals, and their body is sucking more minerals out of them, and they're gonna just become sick, like osteoporosis and stuff. And it's just so weird. But anyways, that's just the way it is. And superficial and artificial stuff just, it hides it instead of trying to figure out what the problem is. And we've also been trained that way, though. This whole aging concept and how to conquer it and stuff. And it's so artificial. It's so fucking fake and phony and Kardashian bullshit. So, and how much fucking plastic surgery that they expect people to just run in and get plastic surgery and stuff. They push so much of that stuff too. So anyways, and being a recovering, person who went and had one of their stupid things, I think back on it a lot and think about like, how did I, because I like my body just great now. I'm just like, fuck, man, I love it. And how did I go from this hating it, being so insecure about it, to liking it? So it is, because if I would have liked it, I wouldn't have gone in and got the plastic surgery. And then the whole marketing and the whole thing through the plastic surgeon's eyes, and how they were so into the Pamela Anderson look, and that was being pushed on all of us, to be these little small blonde with giant boobs, a small waist, and not huge hips, not like what Kim Kardashian is trying to show. Pamela Anderson was pretty small, just these ginormous boobs. And so that's became the look. My daughters would always say, Mom, you look like you're so off balance. You don't look right. And, but when I would try and see about getting them taken out, it was so expensive. It was such a huge ordeal. It's like, God dang, I can't even tell you, for years and years and years, I was just kicking my own ass. Like, why did you do this? And And just wanting them out, like not caring one bit about what my boobs were going to look like at all. Just wanting those fucking giant things out of there. They're so uncomfortable. And I don't have any of that shoulder pain or any of that. Like, I'll get neck pain sometimes still, especially if my hair gets caught under my neck and I sleep funky. But oh my gosh, that weight was too much. And I still feel like my skin is still healing from all that stretched out, how far it had stretched out. So it was very, it's just buying into the bullshit, you know, and not liking yourself and wanting to change yourself because, you know, you weren't born the right way, something's wrong with you, which my nose does not stop running at all. If I'm not wiping it all the time, it starts like, it's just, I don't know. It probably has something to do with the cold, but I think it also has something to do with all of the poison and stuff in my body reacting with the mucus, trying to get the poisons out. And the mucus is a carrier. You know, the more mucus you have, the more fucking toxins that you're gonna have. And so it's yeah, I was thinking about something this morning. I was thinking about, oh yeah, okay, yeah. There was a video I had just seen, and I was watching it, but it just got me all thinking about my own situation because it's such fucking bullshit. And everything I see is like the cops are not here to protect and serve, and it's so fucking bullshit, and it's so asinine. And you know, and I know there's people who are like, well, I've got a relative who's a cop, and he's a good guy. Well, you still don't know what he acts like at work. That's for sure. None of us know what he acts like at work. People put on a different persona. And there's it's a boys club. It's this club that you have to, whatever, it's the blue badge, the blue way, I don't know. It's some club like that they have each other's backs. And then they start doing criminal shit because there's all these criminals they interact with all the time. So big fucking deal. And they're going to make money. They put their lives on the line for us and stuff. So they get caught up in like a different reality, a different world. And they think like they are something. And that's why we all have to keep waking up to the truth, to the facts. Even they have to wake up to the truth and the facts. That they're puppets out here to create criminals and attack us and stuff like that. They're not protect and serve. They protect and serve their almighty fucking beast system. And but the video I had just seen was something about a woman. She was DV. She took off on foot and she was drunk, because a lot of times people who have domestic violence, it will be alcohol will be involved. And so she's drunk, but the cops don't give a fuck. I mean, she's walking. She was laying down in a ditch, and they start harassing her. And then they start being, are you drunk? Like, you can't be drunk. You can't be drunk. She's not out in public stripping her clothes off or anything. She's laying in a fucking ditch. Like, see what I mean about they interfere with our free range. We can't just fucking walk and lay in a goddamn ditch if we want to. Like, fuck off, dude. Get the fuck out of here. And so I start harassing her. I think they start, whatever, testing her, whatever. I don't know what and she says she needs a ride. They say, well, we don't do that. And I guess they just leave her on the side of the road, and the 18-wheeler comes and hits her and kills her or something. And it was making me think about what happened with mine, is because I was at a bar with my husband, who was the alcohol. I married a bunch of alcoholics, and he was, God, oh man, I mean, there was probably a good reason why he was suicidal during our marriage, where he was like, he had to get away from me, because I really didn't, you know, I was there against my own free will. You know, I was there because I felt like I didn't really have choices. And I was not happy. I was miserable. And it was no connection. It was just like a miserable relationship. And so it had to be, you know, just miserable for him. But anyways, we're at this bar. And I swear to God, every time we go to a bar, he'd find some guy. And he'd be all over there cozy. And I would be like, this guy is gay. I'm 100%. There's no fucking way. How, like, this is the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And every time, I'm not shitting you. And so I always want to go to the bar. I want to go out dancing. He just wants to go out drinking. And so, anyways, he's cozied over with this fella. And, of course, I'm just sitting there by myself. And I don't even remember about it. And he's all, I don't know what happened, but I was like fed up. And I was like, I'm leaving. I'm going home. And I just got up and left and started walking. But I thought I was really close to home because of my brain injury. I was impulsive, really impulsive. And I had no, like, spatial, like, there was a lot of things that I got lost. Like, I had a real problem. And so I thought I was really close to town. And when I came out and I started walking, I still think I'm about to come out on Nevada. And I'm walking down this road, and a cop pulls up and asks me something. And I said, whatever, I said, I need a ride. I need to get home. And he said, well, we don't do that. And just like those cops told that girl. That's what I was like, oh my God. They don't, like, protect and serve who? And so he left. And so I'm just out here in the middle of nowhere by myself and walking. I get down to this highway, which I think I'm about to be at Nevada. And I get down to this highway and I look down. I'm like, oh my fucking God, I am way out. I was like, shit, I'm far. And I was like, fuck, well, fucking just start walking. And so I start walking, and this car pulls up, this little blue car pulls up and says, do you want to ride? And I'm like, fuck, man, yes, fucking I do want to ride, but I'm scared to death of strangers. It's like, it was one of those things where I had to, like, trust the universe. It was like, well, if I'm about to get killed, then that's what's about to go down. There's, you know, it's my destiny. Like, that's what was supposed to happen. And I wrote a whole novel. I got a whole fucking book in my mind over this story thing that happened. And so I looked at his locks. There was a lot, you know, I'm trying to, like, assess the things that we've learned off of the Ted Bundys of the world. And so I'm like, fuck, just take a chance. And so I get in the car, and he ended up, like, was a nice guy, and drove me, because I was way out. Like, and he had to see, you know, just this person walking way out there like that. I would be in danger. Which, one thing that is weird is, like, there's such a huge amount of truckers that they think are serial killers. And because of how they are able to move around and stuff. And there was a whole thing, like, there's a documentary or something about it. And so I got in the car with him and got driven. He took me to my daughter's. I went up, knocked, and nobody answered, so he took me down to my other daughter's. So he was a nice guy. And so I just went and went to sleep. And in a little while, then I get woke up because there's helicopters out looking for me. And and I was always like, so did that cop not say, yeah, well, she wanted a ride, but I refused. So now let's get the helicopters out, look for her. So can you give me a ride in a helicopter? Is that going to be a better price? Like, what the fuck? Like, it's just, I don't know. There's so much absurdity, so much bullshit, man. Like, how simple. If they were really there to protect and serve, you pull up this lady and you drive her home. Just take her home. But no, our taxpayers don't pay for their gas, apparently. Don't pay for their time, apparently. They've got, you know, tickets to write. So, I don't know. I just think back in the day, if you would have been out like that and the sheriff would have pulled up and you said, hey, I need a ride, they would have been like, get in, come on, let's go, where are you going, you know? It's like, what has happened to people? And it has so much to do with this ego-driven society. And what was getting me when I was thinking about the cop reality and stuff and how they suck these people into this weird phenomena of hierarchy, I was thinking how they did it in the medical again. And it was just so much of, like, when you're in the medical, you get very much like, you know, more than other people. Other people are